All right, everybody, welcome or welcome back to 318 Sports. I'm your host, Steve. It's a pleasure to see you. Look, we got to talk about some women's basketball here. We got March Madness going on. We've already talked about the guys yesterday. Had some great games in that. We had one huge finish in this one, leading up to the Sweet 16 of the ladies. And it's right here. It's Minnesota and Ole Miss. It might have been the game of the tournament so far. I mean, it was close. And I happened to get the chance to see the end of it. Well, I saw the last quarter of it. So, yeah. Great game. Let's take a look at the end of that, and then we'll talk about the tournament and where it is so far and who we're thinking for the Final Four and the championship. But let's take a look at this first, because like I said, there was some blowouts like LSU, just absolutely blowing apart Texas Tech, and there was some decent games, some good games, but this is probably the finish of the tournament so far. Let's take a look at it right quick for those that haven't yet. Minnesota had not led since 7:27 in the third quarter, and we're down to the last few seconds here. Let's go.
13 seconds remaining. Lattimore, beautiful drive and finish. And a timeout called by Minnesota. That stops the 7-0 run.
Big battle, 82.
Battle.
What a shot. I ain't gonna lie. What a shot that was. Couldn't believe it. None of them could believe it. Minnesota was not supposed to beat Ole Miss, according to every expert out there, So, yeah, very, very cool. They won at 65-63. Like I said, it might have been the game of the final of the tournament anyway so far. Anyway, yeah, that was awesome. Very, very cool. All right, let's talk where we're at here. Now, we know what happened there. Missouri State beat Nebraska. Southern U beat Virginia. Duke versus College of Charleston. TCU versus UC San Diego. They blew them out. Like I said, you had some games that were fairly close here, like Baylor and Nebraska. But most of them, you had a lot of blowouts here. 20 points, 40 points. But this is what we're down to now. All right. On the 27th, we got Vandy at Notre Dame. UConn at North Carolina. UCLA at Minnesota. That's going to be a good ball game. UConn and North Carolina should be a really good one, too. And LSU and Duke is going to be a battle. An absolute battle. You'd see that one coming a mile away. That may turn out to be the game of the tournament when it's all said and done. LSU Duke. Because LSU's playing like they're on fire right now. And Flau'jae Johnson is very likely going to be the first pick in the draft. The top pick in the draft. So, and then on the 28th, you got Michigan and Louisville. That could be a good game. Texas and Kentucky. Now, Kentucky being a huge basketball school, I expect Kentucky to win that, but it's hard to say. The way the tournaments have been going. Excuse me. South Carolina at Oklahoma, and then TCU at Virginia. All right, so Vandy at Notre Dame. I would suspect that Vandy's going to win that, but the men got beat, so we'll have to see, right? UConn, North Carolina, I expect UConn to win that, but there again, North Carolina is no slouch. UCLA, Minnesota, I think that's going to be a really, really close game, and I could go either way on it, personally. I'd like to see Minnesota pull it off just because, but I'm not sure. LSU Duke, okay, by all the numbers and all the standings, Duke should win that easily. But LSU proved that they are no pushover at all. So, yeah. And with Kim Mulkey at the helm, I'm sure they're watching film right now. They're ready to go. LSU Duke is going to be a really, really good ball game, and LSU could feasibly pull that off. Then you got Michigan, Louisville. I would expect Michigan to win that. Texas, Kentucky, like I said, Kentucky being the big basketball school that they are, I would expect Kentucky to win that. But, you know, again, Texas being no pushover, we'll have to see. South Carolina, Oklahoma, I would actually expect Oklahoma to win that. And TCU, Virginia. Two schools. Oh, boy. I'm going to take Virginia in that, but it's hard to say for sure. Now, who makes the 8? Good question. Very good question. The 8 will be played on the 29th and 30th of March. All right, let's break it down here. I'm expecting Vanderbilt, UConn. I'm actually expecting Minnesota. I'd like to see Minnesota win that. So Vanderbilt, UConn, Minnesota. And my guess would be Duke. But like I said, you can't leave LSU out of this thing until that game is over, you know, because they're no pushover whatsoever. And then I would expect Michigan, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Virginia. I think that'll be our final 8 to bring us to the Final 4. And then I don't know. We'll have to check on that next week. So, right? We'll just have to see on that one. All right, you guys. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But thank y'all for watching with me. I appreciate it very much. Let me know what you think, where you think we're at here, who you think is going to be in the Elite 8. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. All right. Y'all have a great day. I will see you later. We are out.